Hello, I'm Kal-ico, and welcome to Jackass!
I got you, babe.
Nice! That was
Oh god, no, attack, run! Oh, shit.
This video is just an excuse to try and get Dante to level 100. I've been in the 90s for weeks, and now when I'm so fucking close... Welcome to A Hitchhiker's Guide, a little side series I wanted to start to go a little more in depth with character movesets that are featured in games that I talk about. Since some people have asked for it, and I'm not going to be getting rid of the Pursuitcore rot anytime soon, why not share what I've learned about playing the characters? With that said, please keep in mind that nothing I say here is gospel, it's just what I believe and how I play the game. Which is poorly. So if you've got any advice of your own, please feel free to comment. I'll try and highlight anything that I missed so we have a good collection of tips and tricks. But we've yapped enough about formalities, and the match is about to start, so let's choose our character and get to it. Dante is a no-nonsense frontline stunner. They're the first on the roster, the first to confront the evil, and sometimes the first to die. And it's pretty easy to see why too. They've got one of the simplest and quickest movesets in the entire game. Where other stunners may need to charge or wind up their stuns, Dante's quick swing is near instantaneous and will be your workhorse for most matches. It's a quick slap across the face that does about a second of stun time, low risk, low reward. However, its hitbox is very small and is basically useless when the killer is more than a foot away from you, which is precisely where wing beat comes in. Wing beat is a lot like the concept of violence. It is a question, and the answer is yes. Need to intercept a killer mid-chase? Use wing beat. Need to get up to a ledge in a hurry? Use wing beat. Do you need to absolutely stunt on a motherfucker and then get stuck ore farming? You guessed it. Wing beat. Also, please see a chiropractor.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
But wing beat is also where some of the restrictions begin to show themselves. I'm sure you know this already, but wing beat is a lunge attack that only attacks at the end of the jump. Not only that, but it's hard to use quickly with the start lag that comes before. And your movement speed is halved while in the stance. Dante is too busy thinking about how cool they'll look to realize they've already had their head blown off. And if the killer, or zombie, hits you while in the stance, it cancels the ability and puts it on a 10-second cooldown. Basically, you're as vulnerable as you could possibly be when using wing beat, which is where we need to get creative. Alright, let's talk strategy. Dante is what I would consider an ambush stunner. They're good on their own with patience and timing, but they shine when interrupting or extending a chase. If you see someone getting run down, you can run with them to provide stun support, or you can hang back while they run to catch the killer by surprise and stop them in their tracks. Quick swing is incredibly useful when used around corners, negating the tiny hitbox by letting the killer come to you instead. This works in direct chase too, but you'll have to time it better since the killer is usually expecting Dante to have a stun ready, whereas with corners, they may not even know you're there. Even if you don't want to use the stun just yet, jittering back towards the killer can sometimes buy you time, with the threat of a stun being just as effective as using it. Don't rely on this too much though, since more experienced players will have a better feel for when a stun should come out, and threats like that won't be as effective. Meanwhile, wing beat is no slouch either. It is monstrously effective for catching up to a chase just out of reach, and the slightly longer stun time means more opportunity for that survivor to book it out of there. But with greater reward comes greater risk, and the travel time is something you'll need to account for when trying to intercept. Wing beat takes a bit of practice to nail the arc, and you need to be positive that the chase will continue in a certain direction before committing. Otherwise you use it, they flip around without even noticing you, and you just look like a dumbass. One last thing you need to keep in mind about wing beat is the cooldown. You need to keep track of both abilities' cooldowns, of course. You don't want to run into a fight with nothing to defend yourself with, but it's especially prevalent with wing beat because technically it has 3 different cooldowns. One is 10 seconds, where you get kicked out of the ability because you took too long to use it. The next is 20 seconds if you use it and manage to stun a killer. And it's 30 seconds if you miss. And using it as a getaway tool or a way of taking a shortcut counts as missing because you're not hitting anything. And on top of that, missing will put quick swing on a 4-second cooldown. So you need to be mindful about when and where you use it, especially as a getaway tool for more easily accessible spots, because if the killer catches up to you too quickly, Suddenly, you won't have anything to defend yourself with since Quick Swing cooldown is still going. But even Wing Beat can get you out of a tight spot when used correctly. The higher you aim with it, the higher up you go, which is good for taking shortcuts and mounting ledges. But the same can be said for shortening the arc. The lower you aim, the more shallow the jump is, until you basically hit the spot right in front of you like Quick Swing would. This will also take some practice, but once you get a feel for how far away a Terminator needs to be to safely use this, you can stun them just as effectively as you would with Quick Swing. And considering a lot of Dantes, myself included, usually try to use the full arc and phase right through the target, some killers may not see it coming, or just don't have time to react. The bounce is also something to take note of. While hitting Wing Beat in close proximity gives you a pitiful bounce that wastes stun time, even if it does give you a little distance, hitting it from further away or higher allows you to badnik bounce off the Terminator in the same direction you were already traveling with similar or greater height than what you started with. If you line it up correctly, you can use that bounce to take shortcuts to higher ledges the killer can't get to right away. And lastly, juking. Every character needs to be able to juke, but Dante's mobility makes it even more effective. Jumping up to a high ledge with ramps nearby, like this spot on Nexus, can buy you a few seconds, but waiting for a killer to ascend those ramps and then jumping back down can give you even more time if they don't notice you, since they'll have to consider a few ways you could have gone first before looking for you. You can also do something similar to Spring Tech, where you trick the killer into using a jump pad and using Wing Beat to ascend while they fall back down trying to hit you and get left in the dust. Not as effective as normal Spring Tech, but still useful. And my favorite technique of all, the Wing Beat Rebound. It's hard to get the timing right, and it doesn't fool many players that I've come across, but if you jump off a ledge and immediately activate Wing Beat, you can jump back up onto the ledge if you're fast enough. Hypothetically, if someone was chasing you and following your every move, they would fall back down to sea level while you retain the high ground, thinking you were committing to jumping off. But as it stands with me, it just feels good to do. You can also use Rebound to extend your jump distance, like this spot on Silent Ponyville, since you can activate it after a normal jump, and it goes much further than you normally could, allowing for a lot of gaps to be turned into massive shortcuts. You can even go straight down with it once you're midair, though there's not a lot of places outside of Ponyville where this is terribly effective. And if all else fails, Whole Reliable is still waiting there for you. And with that, I think that's all I have to say regarding the fledgling hero. Hopefully you found something useful in this little guide. Even with how often I play them, I'm still learning how to do so more effectively. I don't sweat the game as much as others, and I'm scared to touch comp. So if I missed anything, please let me know. Our next stop on the journey is Michaela, and I've got a lot of catching up to do if I want to be even halfway decent with her. Thanks for watching. I'll see you there.